Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this live stream concert. Thank you so much for being with us. I'm Staff Sergeant Justice McKenzie, and I'm the music arranger and social media manager for the United States Air Force Band of the West. It is my privilege to be your host tonight alongside our brass quintet, Freedom Brass. What you're about to see is a presentation of the U.S. Air Force Band of the West. You're going to hear music from lots of our different ensembles. We have a very exciting program planned for you. If you are watching online, especially our friends in Georgia, we want to hear from you. Sound off in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. And hey, if you think of anything that piques your interest and curiosity during the show, make sure you put that in the chat too. Our musicians and our auditions team are here today to answer anything that might come to you. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you your musical hosts for the evening, Freedom Brass and their non-commissioned officer in charge, Master Sergeant Eric Proper. Sergeant Proper, take it away.
Well, again, thank you very much for coming out tonight. From the comfort of your homes, I imagine, as we are in this virtual environment. So thank you to the state of Georgia for coming out to watch. Thank you for everybody else out there across the country. I already see a lot of people popping in on the chat and saying hello. We're really excited to bring you some music this way to celebrate the end of the Veterans Day week and the beginning of the weekend as it's Friday. So folks, sit back, enjoy the show. We're going to have a great time. We're going to open up with an old classic that's become synonymous with Air Force bands. This is Those Magnificent Men in Their Flying Machines.
Love that classic of Air Force bands, brass quintet literature, one of our favorites for sure. I want to take a second before we move on and make sure that y'all get to know at least who's on screen, because you've seen them perform two songs for you now. So I want to take a chance, just introduce the ensemble real quickly. Folks, when you hear your name, give us a wave. On your top left is Staff Sergeant Libby Barnette. She's our horn player. On your right at the top, Master Sergeant Doug Kost plays trombone. You heard from Master Sergeant Eric Proper, one of our trumpet players. And Airman First Class Andrew Payton rounds out these four. He's our tuba player. And we also have two additional folks joining us. On the right is Airman First Class Clare Hogan, one of our newest trumpet players. And on the left, Senior Airman Ed Knoeckel. He's a piano player and auditions coordinator with the Band of the West. So Now you know the folks that, I know them, I work with them. Happy to introduce them to you as well. We've got a question from Chief Master Sergeant Craig Ledoux in the chat. He is the band manager at the Air Force Heartland of America Band at Offutt Air Force Base. We also see Chief Master Sergeant Martha Garcia popping up in the chat. She's our band career field manager. So folks, you are watching this stream with some real Air Force bands royalty. I want to throw this to Master Sergeant Kost. He's going to introduce the next tune, and Chief Ledoux wants to know if that was a Larry McTaggart arrangement. Sergeant Kost?
Most likely was. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you for sure, but most likely we have a lot of arrangements by him. So good plug for his work. He's done great things.
Arranged by Tom Dossett. Just looked.
It was a good guess, because yeah, chances are we have a lot of arrangements by him. But so yeah, next up on the program is, you might have guessed it, a march, right? It wouldn't be an Air Force band concert without a march. So this is going to feature our ceremonial brass band, or our ceremonial band, marching band, playing National Emblem. And if you've ever been to Lackland Air Force Base, maybe to see a graduation, you might recognize the setting of this video. It's on the parade field, on the parade grounds, where every week we graduate hundreds of brand new airmen into our Air Force. And it's been like that since day one. So every single graduated enlisted member comes through Lackland Air Force Base. That's why they call it the gateway to the Air Force. So that's the setting of this next piece. Again, it's National Emblem, featuring the ceremonial marching band. Hope you enjoy.
was March 1st, 2013. I was coming home one night, late at night, with my Harley 1200 Custom, beautiful bike. It was my dream bike. And I was going through a traffic light, and a drunk driver who was stoned ran a red, hit and killed me on my bike, launched me off my bike into somebody's yard. I died on impact, suffered a torn aorta, open book pelvic break, punctured lung, fractured ribs, skull fractures, brain bleeds, lost over half my blood. Happened to be next to one of the top 3 trauma centers in the entire nation. I got to finally to the trauma center, surrounded by all the best medical equipment and people with all the best training. And I was going downhill still. I died again, once at the scene, once in the helicopter, and then I died, or was about to die again for the 3rd and final time. My unit had already been alerted to what had happened to me by this point, and so there were some of my brothers from my unit were out there, and they gathered them, brought them back into the super clean area where they'd been working on me and everything, and they told them to talk to me and encourage me, say something, because they had no idea what else to do. They had all the best equipment and training and everything. I was still going down. And so I'm sure you've heard people say that, you've heard folks talk about how when you're in a coma, you can sometimes hear people talking to you. And that's true, because I remember hearing my brothers encourage me, and their version of encouragement, they were swearing at me and yelling at me. And so it brought me to a point of consciousness to where, or a point of being able to think and be like, okay, why is everybody yelling at me? What's going on? And they said that's when, that was the last time they were in danger of losing me. That's when I stabilized again.
You are not hidden. There's never been a moment you were forgotten. You are not hopeless. Though you have been broken, your innocence stolen. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you.
One night, a nurse came in to give me a sponge bath, and I asked her why my leg hurt so much. And she said, what are you talking about? And I said, my leg, and I was pointing to my leg. And she's like, it's not there. One thing you're always looking for when your life changes beyond your control just so suddenly is feelings of normalcy again. And it helped motivate me when I was able to watch the other guys who were just beginning their TAC-B training and watch them go through these different things physically, and it helped me remember the motto of my career field, which is the strong shall stand, the weak will fall by the wayside. Most of the people that look at me, they think this probably happened downrange. And the fact is it didn't. I had plenty of combat and fighting downrange, but I came home and then it happened. There's people in the program who, when they've gone through their injuries or traumatic situations, they feel like, I'm not exactly going to worry, this didn't happen deployed or anything like that. But the fact of the matter is that they are still fighting every day, and that's what makes them a warrior. Our lives are all an equation. And there are some things in that equation that are constants that we can't do anything about. And there's some variables that we can actually affect. people need to look at the things that are within their own power they can actually do something about. Focus on those, and then take little steps, make little improvements, do little things that are progress in the right direction.
And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, and I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you. All we need is hope that we have each other, that we have each other. We will rise, we will rise, we will rise. We'll rise, and I'll rise up. I'll rise like the day, and I'll rise up. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again.
All right, wonderful message from a Wounded Warrior Project. Always an incredible cause, and incredible to hear from Sergeant Pena. That was Velocity, one of our popular music ensembles. And we need to acknowledge someone who's watching on this stream right now. I know everybody in Freedom Brass, you're going to recognize these people. We have to say hi to Kim and Reggie watching on our live stream. These are some of our most favorite people. Hey, check it out. Everyone's cheering to have you guys with us. We're so happy to have you all with us. Kim and Reggie, some of the most devoted fans of the Air Force Band of the West, and we're thrilled to have you all with us. Speaking of people watching, quick correction, my bad. Chief Ledoux is retired now. And Chief Remley, the new manager of the Heartland of America Band, a former military training instructor, and not someone I plan on having on my bad side. Sorry, Chief Remley. We also have Angela watching in Atlanta. We have Sydney in Athens. Thank you for joining us. We have Susan from Chandler, Arizona, another Air Force Band alum. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Hey, if you served, and not just in the Air Force bands, we want to hear about it. So let us know in the chat if you served in any of our branches of the services. We want to hear. Veterans Day was only 2 days ago, and we need to thank you all for your service. I want to take this chance to remind you, if you like what you're hearing, make sure you click like on this video. Hit subscribe so you're subscribed to our channel, and you'll get notified every time we post fun new content, every time we go live. You can also find the links to our other social media channels in the video description. Freedom Brass, I want to throw you guys a question that we got on the Facebook chat. This is going to be perfect. Colby is watching from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hi, Colby. Wants to know if you need to have a college degree to join the Air Force. And we're going to throw this to our auditions coordinator, Senior Airman Ed Knoeckel.
Well, hello, everybody in Georgia and beyond. Hi, Colby. Thank you for posting that question to the band. And it's an interesting question, and one that I think the band is uniquely positioned to answer. So if you look at the statistics going across the Air Force on just across the career field for musicians, you'll see that actually 98% of musicians in the band career field have at least a bachelor's degree. As you get up into the upper echelons of postgraduate work, you'll see that even at the DMA, the Doctoral of Musical Arts level, there are 14% of the bandsmen across the career field that hold doctoral degrees. But this may be more related to their desire for pain and suffering than it is for a requirement to be in the job. Because you don't need the college degree. There are plenty of amazing musicians out there that decide to audition for a position with the bands in the middle of their college career. Some do it after their bachelor's degree. Some do it after accumulating a breadth of experiences as a professional. I can speak specifically about some audio engineers that I know of, and guitarists that come to an audition with incredible experience, incredible technique, and musical understanding, because they've been performing across the country in a array of styles, and but they don't necessarily have that degree from the Wizard of Oz on their back wall. So to answer your question, the degree is not required, but we are also big supporters of education and of being lifelong learners. So keep learning, keep growing in your pursuits.
I'd really appreciate that. One quick clarification. I don't think Colby mentioned the band. If I said that, that's my mistake. Do you need a college degree to join the Air Force?
An assumption by by relationship there, thinking about us doing a Band of the West event here, that it might be music related. But if it's not music related, and you're looking to go into the Air Force, then a degree is definitely not required. And this, if I could also perhaps go through and give you a little bit of a segue as to why the bands are a little bit unique from other career fields in the Air Force. So in the other occupational specialties in the Air Force, you typically be processed, assigned to a job, and then go to a technical school after completing basic military training, 8.5 weeks of basic training, and then to a technical school where you'll be trained and made proficient in that particular skill and given that skill set to perform a job with the Air Force. So the band field is a little bit unique from that. We have civilian acquired skills that we expect musicians to demonstrate as part of an audition process. So musicians will come to the band field and they will typically submit a pre-screened application that demonstrates their ability, that meets particular requirements. And then if they are meeting the standard level, then we'll be invited to a live audition at the band. So there's a bit of a different procedure for the bands. It's a very small world in the Air Force. It's only 2% of the Air Force, with 5 continental bands and some overseas bands in Japan and Germany. So it's a bit of a black sheep among the different careers in the Air Force.
All right, thanks for the info, Airman Knoeckel. As the auditions coordinator, is there anything else that you want to share with us before you tell us some more about what we're going to hear next?
Yes, we are hiring. We do have jobs that are available in the Air Force, and we have auditions that are coming up. If you are interested, folks out in Georgia, along the East Coast, the West Coast, wherever you are, if you are a musician, or perhaps you have a family member who is studying music and they're thinking about career trajectory and about stability as a musician in the music life, then consider the Air Force as one of your options. If you are interested in some of the auditions that are coming up, there is a fantastic resource that you can go to. It's www.music.af.mil. And on this website, you can then select the drop down auditions, and then go to upcoming auditions, upcoming vacancies. And there you'll see just a buffet of information on the different jobs opportunities within the different instrumental groups, which also includes audio engineers. And let's just take a look a little bit at what the process is like if someone is interested in applying. So I see that if you go down a little bit, there is a horn vacancy under the regional bands posting. And we can select the audition requirements link. And in this link, you'll see information about what the band does, how we honor inspire and connect with the communities, with those who served, with those who have served, as well as the pre-screen requirements. So it's as simple as finding some recordings that you've done or making recordings of the pre-screen material. Usually those are standard orchestral excerpts within those brass and woodwind fields. For rhythm section instruments, if you're a pianist, bassist, or drummer, we're looking for an ability to play in an array of styles like jazz, rock, pop, and classical. And once you make your recordings, you can submit the files to the email that's listed there on that pre-screen page, and you start the ball rolling. Now, if you don't see your vacancy posted on the page, there is an option where you can be updated just like you do when you click subscribe or like to this YouTube channel. At the top of that upcoming vacancies page, there is an option to join the mailing list, the email list. And you can simply, as is demonstrated on the screen, enter in your contact information, and you'll be notified when vacancies are posted. So I just want to go back a little bit too to talk about the power of that last selection. You know, what you might not know is that the guitarist that's featured in that video, Staff Sergeant Bobby Wolf, he had done something that was so inspiring to me. He would spend his weekends going down to the hospital and the VA center, and he would take his guitar and he would just play music for the veterans who were getting prepared to go through physical therapy or go into surgeries. And he would be an inspiration to them as a musician. And we know that music can speak so profoundly to the human condition, as that video demonstrated. And I'll segue into the next video that you'll be seeing here soon. It's called The Rainbow Connection. You may know it from the 1979 Muppet movie, the year that I was born, featuring Kermit the Frog. And its connection here is that it's a fantastic arrangement, and it is to honor the national parks of our country and those who serve those national parks to preserve our natural wonders that the United States of America can offer. And, you know, when the song was premiered, Kermit the Frog is there, if you remember the movie, sitting by himself with his banjo, and he's kind of this little green amphibious philosopher. And here he is thinking about these profound thoughts, and like who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on a morning star? And somebody believed it. Look what it's done so far. And you can even see that with the national parks, that there was someone that at one point said, these are incredible natural wonders that we need to protect and honor and appreciate, without without man's industrialized upgrades. So in this particular video feature, you'll hear an amazing group, this brass group here, performing the song Rainbow Connection, as it is honoring our national parks and the wonders that this country provides. So I hope you all enjoy.
mountaineer. Camp out among the grass and gentians of glacier meadows, in craggy garden nooks full of nature's darlings. Climb the mountains and get their good tidings. Nature's peace will flow into you as sunshine flows into trees. The winds will blow their freshness into you, and the storms their energy, while cares will drop off like autumn leaves. As age comes on, one source of enjoyment after another's closed, but nature's sources never fail.
That was a Rainbow Connection, and what Senior Airman Knoeckel didn't tell you is that he was the piano soloist on that track, and that video production was done by our own tuba player, Airman First Class Andrew Payton. Hope you enjoyed that. Want to point out a couple more special guests tuning in on the live stream. We have one Major Dustin Doyle. That's right, folks, the boss is watching. He's the commander of the Air Force Band of the West, so if you like what you are seeing and hearing, make sure you sound off in the comments so our boss knows that we're doing a good job. We also have Margaret Flynn. This is the mother of our flight commander, Lieutenant Michael Flynn, which is kind of like our boss's boss. So again, keep up the good work, Freedom Brass. Before we move on to the next piece of music, I want to present you a short advertisement for a really special project we have going on. It's called the Troop Tree, and the Troop Tree is usually a physical tree that we place at our holiday concerts, and we solicit cards for deployed troops who can't be here for the holidays. I'm going to throw it to one of our guitar players, Airman First Class Brendan Malloy, to tell you more about this really special project that's coming up in tandem with our holiday concerts.
Everybody, we need your help in supporting and encouraging our troops. I'm Airman First Class Brendan Malloy with the United States Air Force Band of the West at Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas. The past couple of years, we've asked those attending our Holiday in Blue concerts to fill out cards and place them on our tree to be sent to deployed troops serving during the holiday season. The response was incredible and inspiring. This year, our Holiday in Blue concert will be happening virtually. So we're asking you to send us your holiday well wishes for the troops. We're partnering with the wonderful charity supportourtroops.org to distribute your cards to deployed service members around the globe. Here's how you can help. Simply gather as many holiday greetings as you can and send them to the address on screen. Just write something positive, kind, respectful, and thankful to the brave men and women sacrificing their time this holiday season to protect our country. Submissions for all winter holidays are encouraged. This is a great project for schools, churches, civic organizations, and individuals alike. We look forward to receiving your cards and are thankful for your help in supporting our troops.
Yeah, that project is always really near and dear to our hearts. We would love it if you could help us make the holidays that much more special for our troops who are deployed and can't be with their families this holiday season. If you need that address again, you can always just rewind and pause the video, or you can find it on our Facebook page, and the link to our Facebook page is in the video description. So again, please help us make the holiday season that much more special. Freedom Brass, I want to ask you guys a really fun question that we have sent to us via Facebook messages. Tegan is watching in Warner Robins, Georgia, and wants to know what your favorite instrument is, and you can't say your own. So here's what we're going to do. We'll go around the room, so to speak, and I'll call your name, y'all unmute, and we want one-word answers. No explanation, just let us know your favorite instrument, and you can't say your own. Go, Staff Sergeant Barnette.
Cello.
Cello, fair answer. Master Sergeant Kost.
Let's say French horn.
What a cop-out. Airman Payton, what you got?
I'm gonna say English horn.
English horn. You're just trying to pick instruments that nobody knows. Master Sergeant Proper?
The 2-valve G bugle.
Ain't nobody loves a 2-valve G bugle. How about Senior Airman Knoeckel?
Theremin, of course.
The theremin. Spoken like a true doctorate of music composition.
But I haven't touched it in years.
And we'll throw it lastly to Airman First Class Clare Hogan. And then Claire, why don't you introduce our next piece?
So piano is my favorite. Let us know in the chat if you have any memories associated with this tune. We'd love to hear from you. So please enjoy Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, arranged by Walt Stewart and featuring the vocal talents of Senior Airman Christina Bagley and Senior Airman Leah Fox, and of course our very own bugler, Senior Airman Tim Guidry.
Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man at his craft, but then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a blowing reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy from Company B. They made him blow his bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand, because the next day the cap went out and drafted a band, and now the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. A toot, toot, he blows 8 to the bar. In boogie rhythm, can't blow a note unless a bass and guitar are playing with him. And the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. He was the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. And when he plays boogie woogie bugle, he was busy as a bee. And when he plays, makes the company jump 8 to the bar. He's a boogie woogie bugle boy from Company B. He blows 8 to the bar. He can't blow a note unless the rhythm and bass is with him. And the company jumps when he plays rapidly. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. He puts the boys to sleep with boogie every night and wakes them up the same way in the early light. They clap their hands and stamp their feet, cause they know how he blows when someone gives him a beat. While he wakes them up when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy from Company B. A toot, he blows at 8 to the bar. Can't blow a note if a bass and guitar is
right, folks, it looks like we had a glitch with the audio when we were answering Tegan's question about our favorite instruments that aren't our own. And Tegan's one of our younger viewers, and I want to make sure that he gets a chance to hear from all of you Freedom Brass. So one more time, Airman Hogan, you said...
Piano.
Favorite instrument that's not your own, Airman Knoeckel?
Theremin.
The theremin, right. Someone Google that, please. Master Sergeant Proper.
The 2-valve G bugle.
I can't believe you got a second chance at that and you stuck with that answer. Airman Payton?
English horn.
And Master Sergeant Kost said...
French horn.
The French horn, only slightly different. And Staff Sergeant Barnette, and then take us away to our next tune.
All right, I said the cello. And I am the French horn player in the group, Staff Sergeant Libby Barnette. I grew up in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I've been in the Band of the West almost 4 years now. Before that, I was at Offutt Air Force Base, the Heartland of America Band, where I started my career a long time ago. So we have 10 active duty Air Force bands all around the world. And besides Texas and Nebraska, we have Colorado, California, Illinois, Ohio, Virginia, Washington, D.C. And then we have some overseas units in Japan, Hawaii, Germany, and a small unit that's deployed over in the desert to entertain troops. So since we are unable to perform live for our local veterans this year, which is one of our favorite community concerts every year when we perform with the San Antonio Symphony in a side-by-side concert, but we're not doing very many live shows this year. So we're going to honor our local veterans, honor veterans all across the world right now, virtually, with music from the television miniseries Band of Brothers. This 10-part series depicted the story of Easy Company, a regiment of the Airborne Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Young men who knew both extraordinary bravery as well as extraordinary fear. So this is music from Band of Brothers, and our own Staff Sergeant Justice McKenzie arranged the music for us.
This is a solemn but a glorious hour. General Eisenhower informs me that the forces of Germany have surrendered to the United Nations. The flags of freedom fly all over Europe. Our rejoicing is sober and subdued by a supreme consciousness of the terrible price we have paid to rid the world of Hitler and his evil band. Let us not forget, my fellow Americans, the sorrow and the heartache which today abide in the homes of so many of our neighbors whose most priceless possession has been rendered as a sacrifice to redeem our liberty.
All right, that one is just so beautiful, isn't it? We are going to now be switching themes a little bit, going from that very sort of commemorative, solemn music to something a little more uplifting. So we've all talked a little bit, especially Senior Airman Knoeckel, about the paths that we chose to get here to our current jobs in the Band of the West. All of them are a little varied. Some of us went to college for a long time, Herman Knoeckel. Others of us a little bit less than that. But certainly what we all did was work hard along the way. And the next video you're going to hear is a testament to that. It shows the relationship between working class musicians who are just busting their butts at every corner to get the next gig, to get the next performance, to make rent. And we've all been there. So the next piece you're going to hear is from the movie La La Land. It's called Another Day of Sun. Please enjoy.
Left him at a Greyhound station west of Santa Fe. We were 17, but he was sweet and it was true. So I did what I had to do, 'cause I just knew. Summer Sunday nights, we'd sink into our seats right as they dimmed out all the lights. A technicolor world made out of music and machine. It called me to be on that screen and live inside each scene. Without a nickel to my name, hopped a bus, here I came. Could be brave or just insane, we'll have to see. 'Cause maybe in that sleepy town he'll sit one day, the lights are down. He'll see my face and think of how he used to know me. Climb those hills, I'm reaching for the heights and chasing all the lights that shine. And when they let you down, it's another day of sun. Get up off the ground, it's another day of sun. Rolls around and it's another day of sun. I hear them every day, the rhythms in the canyons that'll never fade away. The ballads in the barrooms left by those who came before. They say you gotta want it more, so I bang on every door. And even when the answer's no, or when my money's running low, the disc and mic and neon glow are all I need. And someday as I sing the song, a small town kid will come along, and that'll be the thing to push him on. And he'll go, climb these hills, I'm reaching for the heights and chasing all the lights that shine. And when they let you down, it's another day of sun. Get up off the ground, it's another day of sun. Morning rolls around and it's another day of sun. When they let you down, the morning rolls around. It's another day of sun. 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 The day has just begun. It's another day of sun. It's another day of sun. It's another day of sun.
Thanks so much, everyone. That was another day of sun from La La Land. Hope you enjoyed it. And I want to remind you all of an awesome production we have coming up for the holidays. It's going to be one of the biggest productions of the year. It always is. We've teamed up with our local PBS affiliate to film and produce it, and you do not want to miss this production. So make sure you're subscribed right here on YouTube, subscribe on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, because like I said, this is going to be the show of the season. We're going to feature music from tons of different Air Force bands, not just the Band of the West, lots of different ensembles. It's going to be such an exciting show, and I want to make sure that you're all there to catch it when it shows right here on our YouTube channel on Saturday, December 19th. Now we've got one more question from the chat that I want to get to, and I think it's the perfect one to throw to Master Sergeant Proper as he starts to wrap up the concert. Sergeant Proper, Dwayne is watching from Sandersville, Mini Sanders in the Ville. Dwayne is watching from Sandersville, Georgia, and he wants to know, when will you be returning to Georgia?
Boy, I hope really soon. We were in Georgia earlier this year in late January, early February. We are in Augusta and Atlanta. I know we played at the Veterans Hospital there in Atlanta. We played at the Jimmy Carter Presidential Museum, a few other places. Had a great time. Hope we'll be there live very soon. And I hope what we've done tonight is give you a little bit of an idea of the creativity and the ideas that are going into putting on concerts these days. And we are a representation of what's going on throughout the entire Air Force and the entire United States military, the creative ideas that are happening to get the job done. You know, we've had a lot of obstacles, shall we say, in our way this year, and we're finding a way to get to work. So it's been really great actually sitting watching the chat and the interaction going back and forth. It's been between 50 and 60 people all night long. It feels great. It kind of feels like we're in front of a real audience. And as musicians, we've missed that a ton this year. So we appreciate everybody out there spending some time with us. It's been fun seeing some familiar names, making some new friends. I hope you guys will stay in touch with us. As we've said a few times, like us on Facebook, keep up with us on YouTube. I think we're on, what's the other one? Instagram, that one. I get some nods. Yeah, technology is great for me. We're gonna finish out the night. It's time to call it a night for us. And of course, we're gonna leave you with a march. So on behalf of Major Dustin Doyle, the commander of the Band of the West, on behalf of Brigadier General Caroline Miller, the commander of the 502nd Air Base Wing from the Band of the West and from Freedom Brass, God bless. Have a great night. We hope to see you guys live very soon. And this is the Stars and Stripes Forever.